Hello everyone. Welcome to my YNR 24 Spoilers Update channel. Kyle wins Claire back by using Harrison. According to Spoilers for the Young and the Restless, Kyle Abbott is currently in a downward spiral. Will Kyle be desperate enough to use his son to woo the girl of his dreams in light of Claire Newman's recent breakup with him, his lies, and her own desire to live her best single life? Claire Newman and Harrison Abbott have a close relationship. Fans are reminded by Spoilers for the Young and the Restless that Claire and Harrison Abbott are close. Actually, it was because of him that Claire and Kyle began dating. But might he end up being the catalyst for their reconciliation? Claire was called to the Abbott mansion so Harrison could see her before she ripped herself free from Kyle. Harrison has been missing Claire a lot and wanted to show off his Italian skills and meet her before embarking on his journey in Italy. Kyle Abbott is in dire straits. Claire got the ick from Kyle as the truth about his kiss with Audra Charles in Nice was revealed. Instead of confronting their problems head-on, his desperate attempt to salvage their relationship simply made Claire more hostile. The affair deteriorated to the point where she felt compelled to abandon it, starting with his feeble effort at a marriage proposal and continuing with his jealousy of her friendship with Holden Novak. What does this signify for Harrison, though? When he learned that his dad and Nanny were dating, he was ecstatic. Kyle wouldn't forbid Claire from meeting Harrison because she loves him so much. But the truth is that because Claire is no longer with his father, he won't be seeing her as frequently as he once did. Is Kyle trying to get Claire back by using Harrison's unhappiness as a ruse? Could he nearly make his son feel devastated by this news? Harrison will be upset, but if he is properly comforted, he won't be very depressed because he has always been a laid-back child. But Harrison might reel if someone pokes him. Will Kyle try to get more time with Claire by using Harrison? Common ground. Second chance, Mama Bear comes back. Some significant events in Genoa City are revealed by Thursday, October 2nd. Spoilers for the Young and the Restless. Two individuals discover common ground. A mother bear makes a triumphant comeback, and someone pleads for another opportunity. What can we expect from Thursday's performance? It's time to find out. Jill Abbott, welcome home. According to Thursday, October 2nd. Spoilers for the Young and the Restless, Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, is expected to return to the canvas with a bang, having said that she will be in town in person instead of just video conferencing with someone like she has in the past. Can the mother bear help soothe the tension between Kane Ashby and Billy Abbott? Additional teasers suggest that she has some unresolved business with them. Lily Winters discovers something in common. Amy Lewis will also be back at GC on October 2nd. So Jill won't be the only mommy bear coming to town. Since her son Damian Kane, Jermaine Rivers, was killed in Nice, Amy has not been depicted on canvas. The woman has been dealing with her son's passing. Can Amy and Lily Winters come to an agreement? Amy will try to establish common ground with Lily Winters. Read more. YNR's next cheating scandal. Unforgivable error splits this couple away. Spoilers for the Young and the Restless? Audra Charles desires another opportunity. Lastly, according to Thursday's Spoilers for the Young and the Restless, Audra Charles will plead with Nate Hastings for another opportunity. Although they made a really lovely couple, Audra's dishonesty and treachery destroyed their relationship. Despite Lily and Devin Hamilton Winters' constant warnings about Audra, Nate continued to pursue a romantic relationship. It is extremely improbable that he will consent to resuming their relationship after everything Audra has done to him. Will Audra accept no as a response? To discover out, fans will need to tune in. Which plot point in Thursday's program are you most excited about? Leave a comment below. For the finest Young and the Restless news, spoilers, and updates, watch the CBS serial opera every day and visit SOS frequently. Jill comes home to make amends with Billy and Kane for unresolved issues. According to Thursday, October 2nd, 2025, Spoilers for the Young and the Restless, Audra is begging Nate for another opportunity. Lily and Amy are finding common ground, and Jill is going back home to resolve unresolved business with Billy and Kane. The Young and the Restless next episodes. Jill is returning to Genoa City to take care of some unresolved business. Watch for her to make an appearance on Thursday's broadcast when she comes back to talk to Billy and Kane. Kane claimed that Jill was his mother when he initially arrived in town years ago. Jill took him as her own, even though Kane knew it was a deception. It was challenging for either party to suppress such emotions once the truth was revealed. Kane has the potential to ruin a number of Genoa City families. The only person who might be able to change the situation is Jill. It's safe. Amy and Lily will get in touch on the Young and the Restless. Both Amy and Lily have experienced death at some point in their lives. Lily's parents, Drusilla and Neil Christoph St. John, passed away. Not too long ago, Amy had to bury her son, Damien. Keep an eye out for the two women to come to an agreement on Thursday's program. Lily is a parentless daughter. Amy is a mother of a sonless child. Would these two women be able to move forward in life if they became closer and had a stronger familial bond? Lily can also ask Amy for guidance on how to handle any lingering feelings she might or might not have for Kane if she feels comfortable around her. Pictures scattered. Have not. Audra Charles is the only person in Genoa City who lashes out at someone superior. However, beneath those barbs lies a weak woman seeking love. Watch as Audra tries to persuade Nate Sean Dominic to give her another opportunity on Thursday's show. When Audra revealed to Nate that she had plotted with Victor to split Kyle and Claire up, he couldn't believe she was so cunning. So they broke up. Does Nate really want to live without Audra? Or would he give her another chance? The Young and the Restless thrives on emotional manipulation, multi-layered motivations, and the question of how far someone will go for love, power, or redemption. The storyline of Kyle Abbott's heartbreak over Claire Newman explores the complex interweaving of personal relationships, family ties, and the blurred lines between parental devotion and selfish ambition. The central possibility of this arc is one straightforward but dangerous possibility. Kyle Abbott, reeling from rejection, may use his son Harrison Abbott as a tool in his desperate attempts to win Claire back. This narrative thread opens up not only the dynamics of Kyle's broken romance, but also more general themes about loyalty, manipulation, parenting, and what it means to grow from past mistakes. When Claire breaks up with him, frustrated by his dishonesty, his incapacity to face problems head-on, and his feeble attempts to patch over deep issues with superficial solutions, Kyle's spiral begins. Written as a woman determined to claim her independence and live her best single life, Claire exemplifies the kind of strong-minded character who refuses to settle for less than what she deserves, while Kyle is the epitome of insecurity disguised as confidence, desperate to hold on to her, but sabotaging himself at every turn. Whether it's his reckless kiss with Audra Charles and Nice, or his jealousy over Claire's relationship with Holden Novak. This imbalance in the relationship not only explains their breakup, but also sets the stage for Kyle's darker impulses to surface. He doesn't just want Claire back, he needs her, and in that desperation lies the temptation to pull Harrison into the center of his emotional battlefield. The relationship between Harrison and Claire adds a wonderful complexity to the plot because it is genuine, natural, and deeply ingrained in the history of the characters. Harrison truly loves Claire, and in many ways, their bond predates Kyle and Claire's romance. Claire played a nurturing role in Harrison's life, becoming someone who could bridge his innocence with the sometimes chaotic Abbott's world. To Harrison, she was more than just Dad's girlfriend. She was family, confidant, and someone who accepted him without conditions. For Kyle, this closeness was both a boon and a curse. It fueled his first relationship with Claire, but now, after their breakup, it is the last remaining tether he can exploit. The script suggests that Harrison's attachment could be used as Kyle's trump card. If Claire won't return to him for romance, perhaps she can be enticed back through her bond with Harrison. This brings up the moral conundrum at the center of the arc. Is Kyle manipulating his son, or is he just fostering a natural bond between Harrison and Claire? The answer, of course, is intent. If Kyle lets Harrison miss Claire on a natural basis, then his actions are neutral. But if he intentionally exacerbates Harrison's sadness, leading the boy to believe that Claire's absence is disastrous in order to guilt her into coming back, then Kyle is stepping into morally murky territory. This tension between parental love and self-serving manipulation is precisely the kind of complex storytelling that keeps the young and the restless captivating. Harrison's inclusion in this plot also brings Kyle's identity as a father back into focus for the audience. Historically, Kyle has been portrayed as a man who loves his son very much, but he frequently struggles to balance his paternal responsibilities against his romantic desires and personal ambitions. Harrison represents Kyle's softer side, the part of him that genuinely wants to do better, be better, and break free from the Abbott legacy of dysfunction. However, if Kyle chooses to weaponize Harrison's feelings, he runs the risk of tainting that bond. Just as his father, Jack Abbott, has occasionally blurred the lines between his personal, professional, and familial grievances. This would be more than just another failed romance for Kyle. It would be a turning point in his identity as a father and a man, demonstrating whether he can change or if he is destined to repeat the sins of his forebears. If Kyle tries to use Harrison to entice her back, it could backfire spectacularly. Instead of seeing it as a sweet reminder of their bond, Claire might interpret it as yet another manipulation tactic, further proving Kyle's inability to face problems directly, which could harden her resolve and push her further away, not only from Kyle but also from Harrison, despite her affection for him. Claire has repeatedly shown that she refuses to be manipulated, controlled, or guilted into staying in relationships that don't serve her emotional needs. And she ended things with Kyle because she understood that love is insufficient when trust is broken and patterns go unchecked. It's interesting to note that Harrison himself ends up becoming an unintentional wild card in the plot. Although he is portrayed as laid-back and flexible, children in soap operas frequently represent innocence that exposes adult corruption. So if Kyle subtly instills the idea that Claire abandoned him, Harrison may actually internalize feelings of loss, sadness, or even resentment. This type of emotional turmoil in a child can reverberate across storylines, affecting his relationship with Claire, Kyle, and even his extended family. Additionally, it allows other characters to step in. For example, Harrison's mother figure, Summer Newman, may reassert her role in her son's life, being cautious of Kyle dragging Harrison into adult drama. Similarly, Jack Abbott may confront his son if he feels that Kyle is using Harrison as a pawn because Jack, more than anyone else, understands the harm manipulation can do to family dynamics. The timing of the script also intersects with other major storylines, such as the return of Jill Abbott, the discovery of common ground between Lily Winters and Amy Lewis, and Audra Charles's request for a second chance with Nate. These subplots highlight themes of family, grief, redemption, and second chances. Jill's return to settle unresolved business with Billy and Kane highlights how family legacies and betrayals often come full circle. Just as Kyle's actions may mirror the Abbotts' generational mistakes, the storyline of Lily and Amy's shared grief emphasizes emotional authenticity, in stark contrast to the potential dishonesty of Kyle's scheme. And Audra's request for a second chance with Nate emphasizes the fragility of trust in relationships, exactly the kind of broken trust that destroyed Kyle and Claire. All of these storylines reinforce the main message. Relationships are built on trust and honesty, and manipulation only widen the cracks. However, soap operas are rarely black and white, and sometimes manipulative acts pave the way for redemption arcs. If Kyle realizes his mistake in time, if he realizes that using Harrison isn't the way to rebuild love, then this storyline could become one of growth, where Kyle learns to fight for relationships with honesty rather than tricks. If Kyle does go down the path of using Harrison, the consequences could be enormous, not only for his romance with Claire, but for his relationships with everyone around him. Claire might close the door on him permanently. Harrison might lose faith in his father if he senses manipulation, and Kyle's reputation within the Abbott family could be further damaged. Ultimately, this script puts Kyle in a precarious situation. His love for his son, his heartbreak over Claire, and Claire's bond with Harrison are all real, But how he responds to these realities will determine the kind of man he becomes. Will he fall into the Abbott trap of desperation and manipulation, or will he develop into a person capable of genuine connection and accountability? The beauty of this arc is its ambiguity, its capacity to elicit empathy for flawed characters, make viewers question motives, and make them consider the decisions they would make in such a complex web of love and family. Building on the core conflict, another layer of complexity arises when considering the role of emotional guilt in Kyle's potential strategy. Kyle's desperation is fueled not only by his desire to reclaim Claire's affection, but also by his fear of failure as a father and a man. In soap operas, characters often act out of a combination of selfish desire and latent insecurity, and Kyle is no exception. Using Harrison as a conduit to win back Claire, whether consciously or subconsciously, allows Kyle to externalize his own fears of inadequacy. He's not just anxious about losing Claire. He's anxious about failing to provide emotional stability for Harrison, and this fear can be twisted into rationalizing questionable actions. The more Kyle frames Claire's absence as harmful to Harrison, the easier it becomes for him to justify subtle manipulation. This tension between personal desire and paternal responsibility makes the storyline psychologically compelling, giving viewers an opportunity to dissect motives that are never purely black or white. Beyond Kyle and Claire's romantic involvement, the consequences could be far-reaching. Harrison's emotional gullibility and innocence make him an unpredictable character in this story. Children in soap operas are often mirrors of adult behavior, highlighting both good and bad traits. In this situation, Harrison might unintentionally act as the moral compass, reflecting the consequences of Kyle's actions back onto himself. If Kyle overplays his hand, Harrison might grow suspicious or resentful of his father, endangering not only the immediate plan to win Claire back, but also the foundation of their father-son bond. On the other hand, if Kyle handles the situation carefully, putting Harrison's emotional welfare ahead of his own desire, he could demonstrate growth and emotional maturity and strengthen his relationship with both his son and Claire in ways that go beyond romantic reconciliation. By weaving Kyle's current desperation into this legacy, the show reminds viewers that personal choices are never made in a vacuum. Family history, inherited behaviors, and past betrayals all shape character trajectories. The Abbott family has historically struggled with cycles of ambition, deception, and reconciliation. Kyle's potential missteps mirror patterns seen in Jack and even Billy Abbott, whose choices have frequently placed family above ethics, or vice versa. In this way, Kyle's struggle is emblematic of a recurring motif in Y&R, the tension between inherited flaws and the possibility of redemption. Last but not least, the way Kyle's story intersects with other Thursday plots. Jill's return, Lily and Amy's bonding, and Audra's plea to Nate creates a thematic resonance. Each subplot tackles the central question of human connection under stress. How do people navigate trust, loss, and desire while maintaining integrity? Kyle's arc is thus mirrored by these larger narratives, allowing viewers to witness multiple perspectives on honesty, love, and manipulation at the same time. By placing Kyle's possible use of Harrison within this complex web of Genoa City relationships, the show transforms what could have been a straightforward love triangle into a multi-layered investigation of morality, family, and the price of desire. Kyle's decisions will have an impact on his relationships and the Abbott family legacy, offering plenty of drama, tension, and emotional resonance for viewers interested in the highs and lows of Genoa City life. In summary, the Kyle Harrison-Claire plot is much more than a story of romantic pursuit. It's a deep investigation of human motivations, ethical ambiguity, and the frailty of familial bonds.